Top 5 Haunted Lighthouses. In Maine, these are the haunted stories. Are these lighthouses that are beautiful in Maine? Beautiful views. But when the night comes and moon's out, that's when the ghostly whispers come out. Shipwrecks. Voices, footsteps. Number 1. Burnt Island Lighthouse. Burnt Island lies at the western entrance to Boothbay Harbor, a large natural harbor with the town of the same name at its northeastern corner. The island took its name from the practice of burning the island's vegetation in order to keep the land clear for sheep grazing. Funds for building a light for Boothbay Harbor were appropriated in March 1821, and a petition by town officials and pilots for a lighthouse on the island met with purchase of the island within a few days. A granite rubble tower lined with brick was erected together with a stone keeper's house, and late that summer the light was first exhibited using the system of whale oil lamps and parabolic reflectors typical of the time. The original keeper's house was replaced in 1857 with the frame house that survives today. A covered walkway joined the house and the tower. At the same time, a fourth-order Fresnel lens was installed, the first of many changes in the lighting and characteristic of the beacon. The original characteristic was a fixed white light. The intent of the light was to attract traffic to the harbor, not to warn of danger. In 1888, the light was blocked in sector to the southwest to prevent it from being seen by traffic coming up the coast from the south until they had cleared the Cuckolds, a pair of rocky islands at the mouth of Booth Bay. A year later, the characteristic was changed again, this time to fixed red with 2 white sectors indicating the safe channels to either side of Squirrel Island. This brought about confusion with the Ram Island light, built in 1883, and in 1901 the fixed light was removed and replaced with a rotating beacon consisting of a square box with a lens on each face. This lens served until 1962, when it was retired to a museum and replaced with an electrified beacon. It was the last lighthouse in Maine to be converted from kerosene. A pyramidal wooden tower was constructed in 1895 to hold a fog bell. This was demolished in 1962 when the bell was moved to a metal frame and rung with an electric striker instead of clockwork. The station was automated in 1988, one of the last Maine stations to be manned. The ghosts and legends of the lighthouse. The island and the light station have been the site of numerous paranormal mysteries, many of them happening in the wee hour of 2 a.m. Ethereal woman in white. The island's oldest haunting may be that of Martha Macabre, wife of James, who was a keeper for almost 20 years in the late 1800s. James recorded in his log that Martha died, notably perhaps at 2 a.m., of congestion and cankers throughout her body. Her ghost has been reported many times over the years, manifesting as an ethereal woman in white seen floating on the grounds in and around the house, again often near 2 a.m. The wispy white figure has also been observed at a lilac bush near the front porch of the house. There is even a little humor in the hauntings at Burnt Island. One of the instances occurred on the watch of one of the last keepers who woke in the wee hours of the morning and saw what he thought was his wife in the hallway. He figured she was going to tend a child and thought he'd take advantage of the extra room in the bed. He rolled over to stretch out and rolled on top of his wife, to the surprise of both of them. He searched the house for the elusive intruder but found no one. Step into the shadows of Burnt Island Light. Our Burnt Island tour invites you to uncover the ghostly tales surrounding Maine's oldest lighthouse. From the mysterious apparition of an ethereal woman in white to unexplained sightings and sounds at the witching hour of 2 a.m., Burnt Island is a place where history meets the supernatural. Explore Maine's haunted maritime past with us. Number 2, Seguin Island Lighthouse. Seguin Light is a lighthouse on Seguin Island, in the Gulf of Maine south of the mouth of the Kennebec River, Maine. Established in 1795, it is the second oldest of Maine's coastal lighthouses, and the only lighthouse in the state housing a first-order Fresnel lens. With its light at 180 feet 55 meters above mean sea level, the present tower, built in 1857, is its highest of the state's lighthouses. Automated in 1985, the buildings of the light station are now operated as a museum property by a non-profit organization and are seasonally open to the public via scheduled ferry from Popham Beach in Phippsburg. The light was listed on the National Register of Historic Places as Seguin Island Light Station in 1977. Seguin Island is a 64-acre, 26-hut island located about 2 nautical miles south of Fort Popham in southernmost Phippsburg. The light station is located at the island's highest point and includes the lighthouse itself, the keeper's house, fog signal building, a small oil house, and a tramway for bringing supplies from the shore to the site. The tower is built of cut granite blocks and is 53 feet, 16 m tall and 16 feet 4.9 m in diameter at the base. The keeper's house is built of brick and is 1 + 1 to 2 stories in height with a gabled roof. It now houses a museum and shop. The oil house and fog signal building are also brick. The tramway consists of wooden rails mounted on timber piles. The light station was established in 1795 in response to a petition by Massachusetts authorities, Maine then being part of Massachusetts. The first tower was a wood frame structure completed in 1797. It was replaced in 1820 by a stone tower, which was replaced by the present tower in 1857. Most of the extant structures on the island also date from the 1857 construction period. It is the highest lighthouse on the Maine coast and has the only first-order Fresnel lens currently used in the state. Seguin Light was deactivated by the Coast Guard in April 2019 due to a power cable problem. The lighthouse is awaiting a generator and eventually a more permanent fix in the form of solar panels. In the meantime, the Coast Guard has set up a temporary solar beacon as a navigational aid. The hauntings of Seguin Lighthouse, Seguin Island. Lighthouse in Maine is widely considered one of the most haunted lighthouses in New England, and many visitors and caretakers report paranormal activity. 3 distinct spirits are said to reside on the remote island. The piano player. The most famous legend involves a lighthouse keeper and his wife in the mid-19th century. The isolated island life drove the keeper's new wife to depression. To help, her husband ordered a piano, but it came with only one piece of sheet music. Her relentless repetition of the same tune drove the keeper to insanity. He eventually destroyed the piano with an axe before killing his wife and then himself. To this day, sailors and visitors report hearing the faint, ghostly piano music drifting across the water on quiet, foggy nights. The Old Captain. This ghost is believed to be Major John Polaretsky, the lighthouse's first keeper from 1796 to 1802. Polaretsky was very attached to the lighthouse despite the hardships he faced. His spirit is said to climb the tower and become agitated when the furniture in the keeper's house is moved, mysteriously returning it to its original position. During the lighthouse's automation in 1985, a Coast Guardsman reported that Polaretsky's ghost warned him not to remove the furniture. The crew went ahead anyway, and the boat carrying the furniture broke its chain and sank. The young girl. The third ghost is said to be the daughter of a former keeper who died on the island. She was reportedly buried on the island near the generator house. Her ghost has been seen running and laughing in the keeper's house and near the gardens. Paranormal investigators also report hearing disembodied coughing, supposedly from the illness that killed her. Number 3, Pemaquid Lighthouse. The lighthouse was commissioned in 1827 by President John Quincy Adams and built that year. Because of poor workmanship, salt water was used in the mortar mix. The lighthouse began to crumble and was replaced in 1835. The second contract for the construction stipulated that only fresh water be used. Keeper Isaac Dunham oversaw the construction and wrote in a letter to the U.S. Lighthouse Establishment that the agreement was upheld and the work went well. The original light was an Argand-Lewis parabolic reflector, lit with candles and with a visibility of 2 miles, 3.2 kilometers. Augustin Fresnel invented a superior way of focusing light in the early 1850s, and most lighthouses in the U.S. was converted to the Fresnel lens, with Pemaquid Point receiving a 4th-order Fresnel in 1856. The lens is one of only 6 Fresnel lenses still in service in Maine. The keeper's house was built in 1857. Marcus A. Hanna, the only man ever awarded both the Medal of Honor, earned during the Civil War for bravery on July 4, 1863, first in the Gold Life-Saving Medal for rescuing life on January 28, 1885 at Cape Elizabeth, once served as keeper of the light. The station was automated in 1934. By popular vote of Maine residents, the lighthouse was chosen to be featured in the Maine Quarter, the 23rd in the 50 State Quarters program issued by the U.S. Mint. Also depicted is a 3-masted schooner intended to resemble the Victory chimes. Exposed bedrock descends from the lighthouse to the ocean, creating a unique scenic landscape. The geological history of these formations dates back hundreds of millions of years. These imposing structures have made this lighthouse with its setting one of the most photographed on the Maine coast. Citation needed. In addition to the image found on the state quarter, an image of the Pemaquid Point Lighthouse is featured as a possible background in Windows 7. Citation needed. The lighthouse is owned by the U.S. Coast Guard and is licensed to the American Lighthouse Foundation. Friends of Pemaquid Point Lighthouse, FPPL, one of the 21 chapters of the foundation, operates the lighthouse. Upkeep and ongoing restoration are funded solely by visitor donations. FPPL member docents open the lighthouse for visits from mid-May to mid-October. The lighthouse was added to the National Register of Historic Places as Pemaquid Point Light on April 16, 1985, reference number 85843. On January 11, 2024, the lighthouse's bell house, which dates to the 19th century, was largely destroyed in a storm. The lighthouse and bell house were considered fully restored 8 months later. Reports of the paranormal include the ghost of a woman in a red shawl that has been seen near the fireplace of the keeper's house here. Reports of electromagnetic field (EMF) activity and lights going on unexpectedly have also been reported. In one case, a woman in the parking lot late at night reported seeing every light in the unoccupied building suddenly turn on at once. A woman who visited the keeper's house contacted Red Cloak Tours, now Maine Ghost Walks, and advised that she experienced wild fluctuations on her K2 meter, a type of EMF detector. For the truly adventurous and for those who enjoy a priceless view of the Maine coast, the keeper's house at the Pemaquid Point Light is available for rent during the summer months. For information on renting the keeper's house, legend of the woman in the red shawl appearance. The ghost is described as a woman in mid-19th century clothing who appears wet, shivering, and distressed. She is often seen near the keeper's house fireplace. Origin theories. Since no historical records confirm a death at the lighthouse itself, it is theorized that the spirit may belong to a woman lost in a shipwreck or someone waiting for a loved one to return from sea. Personality. Unlike some more malevolent spirits, this ghost is perceived as sad and quietly sorrowful rather than angry or vengeful. Other paranormal activity. Unexplained noises. Witnesses have reported hearing unexplained footsteps, faint crying, and doors closing on their own. Erratic lights. There have been accounts of the lights in unoccupied areas of the house switching on without cause. In one notable incident, a woman in the parking lot reported seeing every light in the building turn on at once late at night. EMF fluctuations. During an investigation, ghost hunters with Maine Ghost Walks recorded wild fluctuations on their K2 meter, a device used to detect electromagnetic fields inside the keeper's house. Number 4. Marshall Point Lighthouse. Marshall Point Light Station was established in 1832 to assist boats entering and leaving Port Clyde Harbor. 4 acres of land previously owned by Samuel Marshall were purchased for $120. The land was named for an early settler who had a homestead, John Marshall. The original lighthouse was a 20-foot, 6.1-meter tower lit by 7 lard oil lamps with 14-inch reflectors. The original tower was replaced with the present lighthouse in 1857. The lighthouse is a 31-foot tall, 9.4 mm white brick tower on a granite foundation. The tower was originally lit with a 5th-order Fresnel lens. A raised wooden walkway connects the tower to land. In 1895, the original keeper's house was destroyed by lightning. A colonial revival-style house was built to replace it. An oil house and a bell tower with a 1,000-pound, 450-kilo bell were added in 1898. All the following keepers lived in the new house, including Charles Clement, who was the keeper from 1874 to 1919. The bell was replaced with a foghorn in 1969. The lighthouse was automated in 1980, and the original Fresnel lens was replaced with a modern 12-inch, 300mm optic. The original lens is at the Maine Lighthouse Museum in Rockland. In 1986, the St. George Historical Society restored the keeper's house and established the Marshall Point Lighthouse Museum there, presenting the histories of Marshall Point Light and other nearby lighthouses. The light station was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1988. The lighthouse appeared in the 1994 film Forrest Gump. The light station was transferred to the town of St. George in 1998 under the Maine Lights program. The fog signal has been dismantled, but the bell remains on display. Marshall Point Light was made famous in the movie Forrest Gump as the site where a bearded and tired Forrest finally hits the East Coast before turning back and running the other way. Tales of haunts here include that of a young boy killed by rum runners when he mistakenly stumbled upon their illicit operations. His ghost is reported to roam the road leading to the lighthouse. People living in the keeper's house have also claimed that a ghostly apparition would sometimes tuck them into bed at night. Number 5. Owl's Head Lighthouse. The town of Owl's Head is located south of Rockland and includes an eponymous peninsula that projects northeast into Penobscot Bay, with its tip roughly east of downtown Rockland. The light station is located at the eastern tip of this peninsula. The light station was established in 1825 with the construction of a round rubble-stone tower by Jeremiah Berry and Green and Foster. The tower was rebuilt in 1852. It is a 30-foot tall, 9.1 cylindrical brick tower on a granite foundation standing on top a cliff. It has one of the last 6 Fresnel lenses in operation in Maine. The light is located 100 feet, 30 feet above mean sea level. In 1854, a keeper's house was built separately from the lighthouse. The cottage now serves as the headquarters of the American Lighthouse Foundation. A 4th-order Fresnel lens was installed in 1856. A generator house and an oil storage building were added in 1895. Renovations carried out in 2010 saw the tower restored to its 1852 appearance. In addition to repainting the tower, repairs were done to the bricks, the lantern's ironwork and window panes, and the parapet's floor. The Hauntings Owl's Head Lighthouse in Maine is said to be haunted by 2 main spirits, a small, mysterious little lady and the ghost of a lighthouse keeper. The little lady ghost description. This playful spirit is often seen in the kitchen and near windows of the lighthouse keeper's home. One story describes a keeper's wife finding footprints in the snow or muddy tracks in the house, even when her own children were not responsible for them. A helpful spirit. According to local legends, the lighthouse's ghosts are considered helpful. A children's mystery story even depicts the spirits as protective figures. The lighthouse keeper ghost description. The spirit of a former lightkeeper is also said to reside in the house. A former keeper's wife reported an incident where she thought her husband had gotten into bed next to her, only to discover there was no one there but an indentation left on the mattress. Protective presence. Like the little lady, the keeper's spirit is believed to be a benevolent force dedicated to its duty, even after death.